by some rum and cola. Wasn't brave enough yet just to talk to ya. Not a smooth talker under pressure. Sweaty palms ain't making it much better. Something about you feels so special. Pretty up from the minute that I met ya. Trying to get your attention. You make me nervous. In the corner of my best friend's sofa, you were getting by some rum and cola. Wasn't brave enough yet just to talk to ya. Not a smooth talker under pressure. Sweaty palms ain't making it much better. Something about you feels so special.
Welcome back to the World Beach Ultimate Club Championships here on the sands of Praia da Rocha. The party in Portimão is kicked off here as we're in to the quarterfinal games in the mixed division. We have Amherst CropTops coming out of Western Massachusetts from the USA against Margarita mixed coming from Ireland. I'll throw a little asterisk on that one. Liam Grant alongside Benjamin Rees. Looking forward to this game. Benji, how are you getting on?
Honestly, I'm living it right now. It's so good. It's a beautiful day. There is a bit of grey cloud in the distance, but it doesn't matter because the sun is shining. The beach is holding up. So is the ultimate mixed quarterfinals. This is what it's all about. It's win or go home. If you don't get the job done, that's it. Your tournament hopes are kaput.
Yeah, slapping on the sun cream now here in a beautiful day in Portimão. As we take a look at David Barzazzi, the pride of Ireland there, folks.
The businessman himself, David Barzazzi. I mean, look, everyone knows what he's all about at this point. It's, when I think of him, I think of that trademark catch underneath, turn, instant fire of the flick. Why he's got an aubergine with some various things planted in it, I must say, I couldn't tell you.
I think that's a voodoo doll of potentially Freddie Rogers. See the resemblance there.
You know what? Actually, I see it. Yeah, that's fair. The two sides going for a little pre-game spirit circle here so they can just talk about maybe any feedback they've had throughout the course of the week to try and make it as clean as game as possible. And let's talk Amherst CropTops, and let's talk about the big man Ben Ayres, because it's rare that you see a player lead his team in both goals and assists, but you do in the case of Ben Ayres. 22 assists, 17 goals. That's nearly 4 combined stats a game. I mean, that is a Goliath of a performance.
Ben Ayres, part of that Sprout team that perennially loses the game to go to nationals, as is the case this year. Canadians getting him this time. They have made it a couple of times, throwing a bit of shade at Sprout, but
I mean, they very nearly didn't even make regionals this year. Thanks, Mephisto.
No Canadians here to cause a ruckus in the mixed division, though. As we get into the business end, look at the scenery, folks. This is why people come to these tournaments. 1, for the great ultimate, 2, for just a great crack as well.
I mean, BULA have a great relationship with the municipality here in Portimão. I think this is my 3rd, 4th time here now. It just gets better every time. The people, the sands, the surrounds, it's just top notch. You couldn't ask for a better host venue as well. I think it also helps that because of that good relationship, because you know, they've cultivated that over the years, it's not a tournament that's necessarily too unaffordable for players as well, and that helps, you know, keep costs down, because it can be a long way to travel for some of these teams, and that means you can kind of push money into making the tournament experience as a whole a little more.
Having a good old long pre-game spirit circle here. Claps all around. A lot of great quarterfinals happening in the mixed division. I think behind the stands we also have SoCal versus Boracay. That's going to be a spicy game. Just a really competitive mixed division here.
Yeah, on the other side of the bracket, it's Frisbee up against Foy, who we saw in that brilliant round of 16 victory this morning over Sharks, and AKS as well, after they had the upset revenge game over UFA, will take on Guayota. So the winner of this plays the winner of SoCal Boracay, and then the other half will have Frisbee Foy versus Zwei Guayota.
This is the first time we're seeing Amherst on the live stream. We did get to see Margarita Mix get stomped by Guayota. Doesn't really matter now. That was maybe a good thing for Margarita Mix, a bit of a humbling.
Yeah, and certainly losing games early in the tournament, as they did to Frisbee, where they lost relatively comfortably, not necessarily unexpected when you haven't had too much time out there on the sand as a unit. So still working out some kinks. Hopefully for them, it's a case of peaking at the right time. That's the old phrase. It's not about how you start. It's about how you finish. Or maybe more importantly, about where you finish.
And there's been a bit of shade thrown at this Margarita Mix team.
Yeah, mostly by you.
Yeah, fair to say there's very few real Irish players on the team. I'm going to count through them now. You got Brina Healy, Stephen Jones, Kieran Costello, Freddie Rogers, Emma Healy, 2 Healy sisters there, Rory Keogh, Sinead Dunn, and notably Freddie Rogers and Brina Healy no longer living in Ireland. I can't confirm everyone in this roster has been to Ireland.
I think Emma Healy's injured as well.
Yeah, I think you're right there. She's been injured for a little while.
But a lot of this side were part of the Margarita Mixed team that won EBUCC last year, so they would have had some experience playing together. But yes, not necessarily in this whole unit.
And notably, there wasn't really a qualification event from Ireland. You had to put in your interest in whether you're considering going, and I don't think anyone else wanted to go. So Margarita Mix able to go. I'm going to throw the shade on. I would have liked to see them put more of effort to try and recruit Irish people to bring maybe more legitimacy to this team. It's as equally Italian as it is Irish, in my opinion, or players from all over the world, as we see, well, all over Europe. We see Lesnick now going to pull for this Margarita Mix side. And we're off here in the mixed quarterfinal. It starts with a bricked pull from Lesnick.
Evidently, all that workout she managed to do when she had, of course, that little break from Ultimate. If you've listened to ULTI.TV's recent Best Perspective podcast, she mentioned how she was out of the game, but living in the Netherlands, and some of her old Slovenian teammates were playing at Windmill, and they were like, you know, come along, we'll say hi, because it's a lot easier for her than going all the way back to Slovenia. And as soon as he did, she said, oh no, this is a mistake, because now I'm going to start playing Frisbee again. I feel you. Don't worry, Aurora. And now, isn't it good to see her back out there on the sand?
Christo Fergie start things off for Amherst. Working the under, isn't a pick call straight away. Don't think it affected the pass to Ben Ayres.
I must say, I'm very glad that the majority of the Amherst side actually have indeed cropped their tops.
Going to get a lot of belly button action in this game.
Proper old school indie navel gazing.
Zazie matching up against Ben Ayres. That's going to be a good battle all game long. And a dangerous throw. It's going to test Ferguson. Just about reels it in there, celebrating like it's a goal. Costello throws his hands up. He's got tractor beams for arms. Ferguson just about gets that one in.
Fair play, Fergie. That's unreal. Right to the back of the end zone. Of course, on beach, you have the advantage that you can drag the tape with you as you try and tow it in bounds, because the sand will naturally give way a little bit, and they thought rather than trying to work it out, was it a sand where you see your toe over under the line, they just decided it's easier and also cooler if we let you drag the tape, and that might be what Ferguson had to do here. Right to the back of the end zone, streaking. He did so superbly just to keep that toe drag at the back of the end zone. Let's see it once more on the super slow-mo replay. How is that for toe drag swag, Liam?
What a great way to start the game from Ferguson. And are you a Massey Ferguson or John Deere man?
A what?
I'm asking you about the two most popular brand of tractors.
I knew John Deere, didn't know about the others.
The Massey Ferguson, yeah. Shout out to Pat Healy, father of the Healy sisters, is a tractor salesman.
Is he really?
He really is, yeah. I think he's sponsored the teams, Healy Tractors. Check him out. If you're ever going to buy a tractor, Benji, got to recommend Pat Healy.
I'll look into that, thank you.
Pelican hits Rossi. Asferdia driving up line. Looks like he's going to hop this one in. Another clean hold. Answer back. Rogers, the captain of this team, gets to work.
That's a sweet throw from Rossi, isn't it? Just leads with a little bit of inside-out swaz on it. You can see it right perfectly from this angle. Just a little bit of edge that leads and cuts right in line for Ferdia Rogers to jump it in. Both sides with clean holds to start. There's not too much wind at the moment. It's been a bit up and down throughout the course of the day. Relatively still at the moment. And in such conditions, you feel like it really should be offenses on top.
Ferdia Rogers recently jumped off the sinking ship that is Ranelagh, moved to Berlin.
And any chance you can to get a shot in a former European champion Ranelagh, you're not going to lose it, are you?
That's right. The Irish are good crack to get the banter. We have Ferdia, fantastic cut from the handler space there. He's a really smart ultimate player. Uses his legs and his brain to get plenty of goals.
And he's taken that big old brain to Wolf City. I hear Berlin's going to be good next year.
Fergie, quite flat forces. This one's going to drift out of bounds and colliding with our camera too. Joshua Norton working the camera there, and probably not the way he intended.
Fair play to Luna, because she's stuck right in there. No Fausto-esque running away here.
Got the shot as well. Well done, Luna.
That's professionalism.
Costello starts things going for Margarita. They have the first opportunity to break here. Lesnick shoots up to Costello. Barzazzi tries to throw it in, believes the angle. A fantastic block to win it back.
It's nice that they've put the two players to watch we highlighted have taken the matchup of each other.
Yeah, we now got a player cam on that. Owen fumbled on the sideline. Paige Howell can't take that one down. Another short field break opportunity for Margarita Mix. And you know, they got humbled on this live stream against Greta earlier this tournament. It's probably the best thing that could have happened to them, because they're clearly a very talented team. Again, using that inside shot, Bazazi will body biscuit to Costello, who gets the goal for Margarita. That's the first break of the game. Little body roll to boot as well.
All business, and Barzazzi goes to work with that typical style. What did we talk about? Catch it underneath, turn and ping it, almost like he doesn't even need to look at times, but he has that little scan as he's accelerating in, so he knows when he turns the cut is already developing. It's got to go. It does. And the Margaritas are mixing their way into a 2-1 lead. Let's snag the replay here and see that snag from Ben Ayres. Just undercuts Barzazzi there, but they get the disc back on the sideline. The turn, the plant, the finish to Costello for the score. First blood to the Irish.
Costello, the XVI player, representing on this Margarita Mix side.
XVI had a decent run at EUCF this year.
Yeah, it looks like they're maybe going to make top 8, and notably won Irish Nationals in 2023, so Plenty of good clubs in Ireland.
Yeah, huge for them to get over the hump for the first time. Ranelagh stole it back this year, I think.
Yes, they did.
How did Pelt finish?
I wasn't there, doesn't matter.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Oh, sorry, I forgot about that. Were you still in Oz at that point?
I was indeed. Powers. And you see Amherst switching up their lines a bit, and there is a big old body backhand. It's going to be a battle, and Ayres fumbles, tries to catch it on the fallback. No call in the end. I think Ayres boxed out well, but ended up looking like a giraffe walking backwards on a pair of rollerblades. Looked like he was maybe going to get it.
I mean, if he'd have made this, it would have been the catch of the century.
Dangerous pass to Steve Jones, who watches all the way into his hands. Lesnick back out there to anchor this D-line. Another crossfield throw. Ayres was nearby, but just didn't see it. Dunn wants to punch it to Jones again, and he drives up line. Another break for Margarita Mix.
They're getting a bit creative with some of these throws. They're maybe having a little bit of that, you know, chilled out, relaxed, fun-loving Margarita vibe, and it's proving to do the trick. That time utilizing the leading inside-out throw again. Ayres unsighted, sees it late, and then Jones and Dunn run the 1-2 down the line. Dunn is a player that I was so impressed with last year in Ireland's run to the bronze medal at EUC out in Limerick. Just every time I seemed to watch them, she was always the player making the play. This time, not doing it defensively, but with her throws, crafting that one under the mark, and Ayres knows he's beaten. Jones goes down the line, and 3 on the bounce now for Margarita Mix.
Beautiful play from Steve Jones. We're in a little bit of go, looking more like a beach team here, Margarita Mix, and definitely we're still gelling as the tournament has gone on, and maybe just getting better and better. And you know, such depth in the roster, able to bring on, you know, fresh 3 or 4 players anyway. It looks like Dunn is staying out there, but otherwise a fresh line that can apply the similar pressure. Maria Castillo with the pull.
I hadn't realized that Steve was colorblind.
He is, yeah. He's very happy when I got the color vision deficiency rules brought in.
The real Liam Grant rule, correct.
One of many.
Great switch passed off there by the Margarita defense. Got to work smarter, not harder on the sand.
Wells getting high in the stall count. Gets the release valve. Ben Nelson. They fire deep, but struggling to connect on their deep shots.
That felt like a grass throw, didn't it? Just overshooting, not getting enough sit, maybe that little touch of backspin on the release to get it to hang out there. And it just sails through far and away in the end. Well, Paige Howe's a very good target to hit. She didn't have a chance.
Yeah, struggling to harvest here in the sand. The CropTops. It's been this Margarita Mix D-line that's been the most fruitful so far. Barzazi's going to work hard to keep that in bounds. Goes for the greatest. Rossi looks like he might get this one. But it's Dunn who beats Rossi to it.
Sinead
Take
just
a
gets
bow.
it done.
That was sensational. Barzazi throws another one to the end zone. He can't do anything wrong here. Maria Castillo, travel being called. I'm not sure if he did travel there.
So I think they're saying that, hey, you were still moving, but of course with the WFTF rules, you know, if as long as you're within that first few steps, you can throw and go, providing you're keeping a pivot point down.
Hey, just watch, guys. Can we see the replay of the call? What's up?
Yeah, see you're moving off field.
I kind of think that's fine.
That's all there's the thing. Okay, let's go.
I don't see really.
You're allowed 3 points of contact without changing direction.
Without changing direction.
Right, I thought he changed direction.
Okay, then. We don't agree.
That's it. Come back. I want to send your teammates. good.
Yeah, we don't
Right?
want
Jeff, he's saying no call. Okay. No call.
I do see what the argument is. That it's rounding it slightly, but I think they're saying that in the end, actually, the change, there's not really enough of an accentuated change of direction, and it's a beautiful throw from Barzassi. His second of the point, because almost with all the drama, we forgot about the greatest.
There was no discussion about that, bizarrely.
No,
Usually they have a bit of discussion going on, but it was the travel which gets retracted, and got to have a look at this greatest. I was expecting him to try to toe the line, but goes for the jump. That looks good to me.
Yeah, just about gets it off in time, and then there's Dunn and Rossi, and they nearly take it out, each other out. Sinead gets it done again. Yoink. I mean, there's nothing this guy can't do.
I think be boring is the only thing he can't do.
But it's a beautiful throw. Again, tiny little inside shape on it, leading Maria Castillo to space on the break side. I mean, if Margarita had played like this all tournament, they'd be one of the favourites to win.
Well, all the results don't matter now. It's do or die here, and finally Amherst get that connection. They get the deep shot and stop the bleeding. Get their second goal of the game.
Beautiful deep shot as well, right in stride, well weighted. Felt like quite a North American style of offense, that one, where you set up a clear isolation, give one player all that room to work with, get everyone else out of the way, call it off the pull, and that time perfectly executed as Margarita tried to change things up a little bit defensively, zone slightly, having Hutsova sitting off in that lane to maybe stop that huck from going, but go up it did. I think it's Joshua Norton on the receiving end.
Yeah, one of the two Skidmore Wombats on this roster. He's sporting a rally hat there. I think one of the teams that did qualify for nationals.
Yeah, they stopped Amp's nearly 20-year long qualifying streak.
Pelican. Bit of sagging in the lane, but they work their breaks like the Rossi. Wants to hit that inside shot. Lagala.
Good to see the Stegosaurus hat is back.
Healy has Pelican in the reset space. Again around to Rossi. Patient offense here from Margarita Mix. Again Rossi. Oh, confusion about what they're going to do. Ferdia gives a wry grin.
I don't know if that was confusion about the cut or whether it just came slightly awkwardly out of Rossi's hands, because especially as a player coming out of Rimini, he is more than adept on the beach, and that is not an error you would expect from him.
Mascalunes to pick up now. First break opportunity for the Yanks. Turner. Elena Lopez. Oh, and the glitch in the matrix drops that one. Felt that was a real opportunity for them to get their first break. Rogers being forced forehand, the lefty player. Rossi punches it up line. And shot from the knees. Doesn't work out this time.
I mean, I love the vision, even if it didn't quite come off. It is bold from Lagala, the sort of play that you make when you're high on confidence. Amherst just said no and combine harvested it away. That was a bit late, but I apologize. It sounded better in my head.
Oh, a dangerous throw, but plucked out the sky here in Portimão. Mascalunes tries to get the reset, but denied by the Rossi. And a little over the top to Healy. She gets her first goal of the game.
A goal that was truly made in Ireland there. Rogers utilising the offhand, the righty, to sit it to that break side space and find Healy. It was a heck of a block to get it back though from Rossi. The layout hand block with authority, and then there are fewer players I'd want to give that opportunity picking up just in front of the end zone than Ferdy or Rogers, because as you mentioned, he's so crafty when he needs to be. He can always seem to find that break side space, and when he can't, well, he'll just pop it off and go and truck Justin Ford for a victory as well.
Hits the offhand, backhand to Healy. Was one of the stars of the Irish women's national team that won the European Ultimate Championships back in 2019.
I mean, it was a superb performance from the Irish women that week. They were the class of a really good field. It was a stacked women's division that year. And they even got to make the president of Ireland, right?
Yes, they did. Michael D. Higgins. One of many great Irish politicians.
Former politicians.
CropTops working out of their own end zone now. Oh, Lesnick comes flying past. Another deep shot from Amherst. They're not afraid to send it. Some fancy footwork gets the goal. Koslow never really had a read on it.
Yeah, that was a little bit risky because saw Costello desperately trying to track it, but no matter which shoulder he turned over, he could just never quite locate it, almost like it was perfectly out of his field of vision, and he'd have to be an owl to crane his neck all the way around. However, it was well read by Norton for Amherst, and now you can see it again on the replay. Leshnik with that flying athleticism that is probably the hallmark of her game now. And that is just good field awareness and good field sense, knowing that he's in position for the catch, just to take off beforehand and a little hop backwards for the score. Norton's second goal of the game.
They're not scared of a risky biscuit, this Amherst side, and happy to feed the big man. Still no breaks from the Amherst CropTops so far. They've had opportunities. So we see Taylor Simpson with the pull. One of the captains of Starling women's club team. A few Starlings on the Amherst roster here.
Enough to constitute a flock, you think?
What's the collective now for Starlings?
I think it is a murmuration. That's the one.
Thank you. Setting you up there, Benji. Bit of Mac line going on here, and swatted down in the end.
Risky with too much edge on it, and if you hang things up, this CropTops defense will swarm and they will bid for it.
That's a big old buttery biscuit, and Rogers tries to battle for position and just blocks off. Some brilliant body defense from Rogers. Closes the door.
Yeah, didn't have to go and make the huge play because, as he mentioned, just has that body position nice and early, shields out Michael Issing, doesn't give him an opportunity to come round and get a block, and it's far, far away from both of them, which will shoot Rogers just fine.
Pelican in power position. Has a beautiful upfield shot, but just goes a little too high. Hutsova.
Pit called. Yeah, there are some skyscrapers when required on this Margarita mixed side, and for all of Hutsova's qualities, she is not the tallest member of the side.
Yeah, it was an easy shot to Hutsova and didn't need to be thrown so high.
6, here we go, Mark. Ready?
Yeah, it's coming in on 6, and CropTops have not been the best so far at savoring these break opportunities. I've often tossed it away needlessly. Let's see if they can find the answers now. A dangerous throw up the break side. A couple of receivers there, but well taken down by Michael Issing.
Really attacking the break side with that throw, getting the pivot wide out of the field of play, accentuating the outside and roll curve edge on it. But you need to make sure that you keep that edge true, because if you try you're thinking, I don't want to make this a tricky catch, so you can not put too much edge on it, and then of course it will never come in bounds, and you've left yourself with perilous field position. But no, well judged as it curls back in. There were a couple of players there, but Issing was in position nice and early. Here's the big, well, I'd say the big block he got earlier in the point. He got part of it, so did two of his teammates. It's where you see three players have three separate touches of it like that, but they made sure, and then a beautiful shot down the line in the end for the goal. First break for Amherst, making a bit of a game of this, Steph, which is exactly what you would want to see.
Michael Issing, coach of the University of Massachusetts Zula team. I'm sure they're cheering on their coach on the live stream.
Some pretty good players come out of UMass.
Nico Mueller, didn't he do a semester abroad there?
You know what, he actually did, yeah, that's true. Great pull that Keogh fields at the back of the end zone. And then it's floated and given back.
Another gift for Amherst, which they'll take, and that came gift wrapped. That a dangerous shot through the middle, but they take it down and get another break. Margarita mix in 6s and 7s right now.
Well, they're at 5 and 5, but I take your point. It's not quite on serve, but they are at least back level. The errors that the Margarita mixed side look to have eliminated from their game that plagued them in their previous streamed encounter against Guayota just begun to creep back in a little bit. And for Amherst, that's what you want to see. We're applying a little bit of pressure to you now. Can you keep that intensity? Can you keep those levels for the duration of the game? 45 minutes doesn't seem like a long time, but on the sand, it's funny how tough these games can be. And at the moment, Amherst are really winning the energy battle.
Kelsey Wentling with the goal there. Recently moved to Amsterdam. Let's see Mariana Lopez with the assist, and just happy to receive the gifts from Margarita Mix. It felt like a couple of unforced errors for them has allowed Amherst right back into this one. Another brilliant pull means Margarita Mix have to start from their own end zone. But they're so effective at getting those low release around flicks off. And you feel like they're forcing back end largely because Rogers on this now, the left-handed player. There's Rossi. He's going to put up a nice buttery biscuit to the end zone, and Pelican has plenty of time to watch that one into his paws.
Yeah, that's not going to be a problem for Pavel Pelikan, who opens the gullet and swallows the Frisbee hole. Those two, Rossi and Pelikan, would have had a couple of seasons together on BFD La Fota. Of course, the kind of European ultimate powerhouse when Pelikan was plying his trade down in Bologna, and it seems like he never really left.
Seems like Pelican's a bit of a gun for hire here. Playing with the Italians now with the de facto Irish.
The Irish, yeah. But I think, I mean, you could look at cynically, as I think you maybe slightly have, but also you could say, in the players they've brought in, they're trying to bring in players who already have those connections down, rather than just bringing everyone from all over the shop. So Rossi, of course, was part of the EBUCC winning side last year. You know, having someone in Pelikan that he's played with before, okay, you've already got that familiarity.
Powers. Powers again switching to the other side now. Fergie launches, and they've been fearless with their hooks, and yet again find the back of the end zone.
But Zassi there showing that when he's defending, you have to be pinpoint because he will fly through the skies to get there. But that time, bang on point to Ben Ayres. They've limited his impact as a thrower pretty well, the Margarita defense. The one thing they haven't done is be able to let him take them deep. And yeah, even though they've got good defenders there, they back that matchup. You see it again here, a spectacular bid, but Ayres does not get flustered at all. Keeps it tried and true. A beautiful ping there from Christo Ferguson. And I tell you what, Liam, we got ourselves a little Galaxy point.
We do love a good Galaxy point here on ULTI.TV.
And this is huge for Margarita Mix because they started the game on defense. We'll have the half after this point. So if you can hold here, you get the disc coming out of half and you get the opportunity to have 2 possessions back to back and then open up a little bit more of a gap for yourself.
Yes, that kind of break and a half situation. If you're the team that starts on defense at the start of the game and carry over that extra break, can pay dividend. Rossi. And to Pelican. Interestingly, no Irish on the line here in this Galaxy point situation. I'll tell you one man who is, big man Rossi. Leads one out as he's done. Inch perfection yet again. And Pelican takes half for Margarita Mix.
As cool as a frozen margarita there is the big man Rossi. Just, okay, I'm not going to force it here. Get low, really sit down on that flick. And again, it's that throw that I think has been key for Margarita Mix. Those leading inside shots, utilizing the shape and the trajectory of those throws to guide players into space. Pelican strides it into the end zone. Margarita Mix upper break going into half. And as we mentioned, they get the disc now out of half so they can really cash that in and give themselves just a tiny little bit of a buffer. They can just line the rim of that break with some extra salt.
So Amherst will have to break twice now if they are to win this game.
We know they have the quality because just a few points ago they were 5-2 down and then held on offense, 2 breaks in a row to go level at 5s. So they have it in them. They certainly have it in them.
See some of the Tequila Boom Boom players cheering on this Irish team, I'm guessing.
You'd imagine so with Rossi's obviously a Rimini man, so is Legala. Sinead Dunn was playing with BFT Shout this year. Kometsova was as well, although wasn't at EUCF. You've got David Barzassi as well, who's from a bit more inland, I think, in Bergamo. So they do have their, a strong Italian core as well.
Rogers feeds Legala. Rossi is playing back-to-back points. Goes all the way across the field to Healy.
Great vision.
Back to Rogers. Pick is called.
And Mascalunas is just going to catch up a little bit of ground. Mascalunas, by the way, this is career highlight as hosting the Eurostars at the end of their victorious 2019 tour.
Can imagine that was a fun night out. Rogers looking for Rossi. Has eyes for the end zone. Goes crossfield Legali, and Rogers is off to the races and milks that one in like a dairy cow. Brilliant goal from Rogers, and they score the 2 possessions in a row and find themselves in a nice little buffer zone.
Yeah, they do. The full fat milk with a bit of cream on top as well, Liam. I don't know if you'd put cream really on a margarita, but I'm not a mixologist, so what do I know? It's a beautiful shot down the line. It's a lovely throw. Just a slight up tilt, nothing too exaggerated, but it gives it that space to hang and sit. And Rogers, as he mentioned, his eyes would have been wide, wide open as he gulped that down. After giving up those couple of breaks, they've steadied themselves well, Margarita Mix. They deserve credit for that.
And they certainly have a roster good enough to win this mixed division. Having watched them against Goyota, you maybe be thinking that was going to happen, but they're finding a bit more groove here. And like, honestly, the breaks they've given up, they've been the architects of their own demise in those ones.
Yeah, there's no doubt that this side has the talent to win it all. I mean, they are the reigning European champions, of course. Goyota fans might say, well, yes, but Goyota won Open and Women's. And Margarita will say, hey, we can only beat what's in front of us.
Let's see if we'll get a rematch of the Battle of the Islanders.
Italy's not an island.
Sicily is.
True.
Ayres runs out here and catches Steve Jones on the hop. What a great goal from Norton yet again. Plowing their way into the end zone.
As was indeed airing it out. As you mentioned, I thought it was overshot. Joshua Norton clearly is keen to make a mug of me, not for the first time this week. It was a superb grab that will send the crowd loco. Yeah, he's been very effective as a receiver. His third goal of the game, and he's telling you it was right in the fingertips. But I would say, as a handler, that's knowing your receiver. What a grab, and again, that awareness. As he catches it, he tilts his wrist, so he's not going to ground strip himself on the landing. Really good presence of mind.
High fives all around. And went with the left hand there as it faded towards his left-hand shoulder, so great adjustment.
Yeah, 100% agree. It would be so easy to go with your dominant hand and try and scoop that up trailing edge, but you make it so much harder for yourself when you do that.
Pelican. Hutsova. Rossi in power position, flings one to the end zone, and a brilliant catch from Carmen Legala.
I mean, that is sensational. It was almost a nonchalant little pluck, like pulling the last feather from a Christmas bird, and a huge hug on the end of it. And if I'm in Rossi's position, and I've got Legala going deep, and I've got Castillo going deep, and they've both got steps, you're never not putting it, right? Even if the throw's not great, because you know that you would back your receivers to come down with that. And that is exactly why, Liam.
The chemistry on this Irish team is just sensational.
It's years of playing together.
On the famous sands of Ireland.
What is the beach? How big is the beach scene in Ireland, Liam? Genuine question.
Virtually non-existent. They do have usually one beach tournament a year, which is Beach Nationals. There used to be a hat tournament, Beach to be crazy. Not sure if it's still happening. Ireland is mostly cliffs on the coastline. There is some beaches, but massive tides in Ireland. Often you don't really get the sandy beaches like you would here or in the likes of Italy and Spain, and maybe more what would be the word, difficult weather conditions.
I feel like
challenging.
In Ireland, on the beaches, you're most interested in what's happening offshore rather than on it. I know you are a very keen surfer.
Amherst looking to ride the waves here and get back into this one. Oh, vagrant undershot. Not sure if that's what the intended receiver is. They'll test Jones yet again. And Amherst will not be denied in the end zone. They are just so good at taking down the big shots.
They are, but it's because he pivots out and he puts this towards the break side, so his receiver's always in position. Stephen Jones goes for it and just gets nothing of the disc, and a lot of his opposite number, in all honesty. Not a massive fan of that, but I think there was a little bit of a show of the disc afterwards, but then a slap of hands. It's been played in very good spirits.
Christo Fergie rises high for the catch. I'll be a Massey Ferguson man myself. More classic Irish tractor. Still see a few John Deeres around the place now, though. Definitely, if you're going for the combine harvester, it would be the John Deere, I think.
Again, I will bow to your knowledge. I am, of course, a dirty city boy.
Isn't too much tillage farming where I'm from, but I know a wee bit. Castillo.
There's not exactly wide open swathes of crops on the mean streets of southeast London, or even indeed South Wales. Well, there are actually a little bit more than there were in the inner city, I guess.
Rossi fires one down the line, but that one gets buried in the sand. Amherst touch it in unnecessarily.
Correct. Old habits die hard, though, I guess.
Keeping it American out here. Michael Lissing has been great on the D-line. Mascalunes getting high in the stall count. Doesn't have a lot of options. Tests out Rogers. That one fading. Oh, and another one plucked from the stars. Sensational from Amherst. They tie the game back up.
Yeah, still got to find that one more break. But they've managed to get the first of those on the end zone shot. Slightly overthrown for Pelican. And then Amherst working the other way, trying to find a matchup they like deep. And I think they wanted to test Rogers more than they fancied going up against Rossi or Pelican in the back of that end zone. He gets a little bit of step. Rogers goes up high, forces pressure on it, but Ben Elson brings it in with those big gloved hands. And the Elephant Man with the score. He went to Tufts.
He went to Tufts, I was about to say. Yeah. Tufts man getting the job done here.
And we have a timeout on the field, Liam.
Looks like Margarita Mix is trying to settle the ship. So all tied up here in our mixed division quarterfinal. Amherst 9, Margarita Mix 9.
Liam, you were, sorry to cut across you, but we were having a little conversation about kind of the farming industry, because obviously there's no Frisbee going on. Apparently you were a keen student.
Yeah, I got my A1 in agricultural science, the best grade I got. I was the only person in the class that isn't a farmer, but I was trying to woo a farmer at the time, so I was doing my research.
There we go. I was waiting for the end of that story.
I have a keen interest in dairy farming in particular. That's what's famed in Clare anyway. Green fields of Ireland.
Well, forget the green fields. It's all about the golden sands of the Praia de Rocha now.
Yes, we're all tied up here in our mixed division quarterfinal, 9 apiece. It is a slight advantage to Margarita Mix as they have possession. Looking for Legala underneath. Rogers waiting for the easy option. Back around to Pelican, very far away stack. Kyo dishes to Rogers. Looks to run the give-go action and flings one up to Pelican, who is sandwiched. Finds himself in a peanut butter and jelly sandwich there. Looks like an accepted foul. He's probably lucky to come away with that one. Bit of a hospital pass.
I see the idea from Rogers, trying to get the lead to the break side with no force. He does pop it up into the wind, but Pelican gets good position, and the bid from far away does definitely come through the back.
Rogers in possession again. Thinks about the push pass, but retreats backwards. Pelican. Now to Rogers. He's going to run that one in.
That's a classic Ferdia Rogers move, that one. Okay, we're in the red zone. We don't see the space that we want getting into it, but we're happy to go backwards so we can bounce that all the way back across, slash towards the front for the score, just as he did when they won Euros 2 years ago. Pretty much that exact same cut.
I think he also got a bosh from Justin Ford as well to emphatically score.
Six of one, half a dozen of the other.
I think it added to the occasion. But yeah,
100%.
Certainly outside the end zone, Rogers' movement is fantastic. I think if you're going to, watch someone and learn from their movement, he'd be a great man to do so. He moves perfectly well.
And Pelican as well. I must admit, when I saw them against Guayota, he had a lot of early turnovers that really made me question how he'd adjusted his game to the sand, but he's really sharpened that up today.
I think the whole Margarita Mix side have sharpened it up. Okay, they've given away 1 or 2 turnovers, but you're going to expect that to some degree in a game. It's all about how they finish up here now. Aurora Lesnick with a fantastic arcing pull, rolls to the back of the end zone. That's the kind of pull you want. Taking the easy unders now, Amherst. You can see Margarita makes know that they want to send it deep. Pick is called. Discussion as to whether Dunn would have a play on it. She's suggesting she would.
Yeah, given how far away they were, it must have happened a fair bit ago as well.
Yeah, I wonder if she would have got there.
I mean, she might argue that she might have had the play. I don't know whether she would have done, but I'm not going to question her. I think you probably could have let her catch up, but kept the throw.
Barzazi on the force, very active. Gonna have to send it, which they've done on a couple of occasions. They've been the better receivers, but
yoink.
Lesnick silences the Americans. She also managed to get Sky on Rossi there as well, I think. Rossi now with the disc, launches one to Barzazi. The Italian boys go coast to coast and get a break.
Yeah, 2 points up, just over a minute left on the clock. Margarita Mix looking to salt this one away now. It was a superb Sky from Lesnick. Yes, she can make the acrobatic layouts, but she can go up really big and strong. She's such an explosive athlete. She got position, she skied the defender, and she skied Seba Rossi, which is, you know, a significant achievement in itself. And then going the other way as well, just slinging it to the back of the end zone, and the Italian and Irish connections are going great guns. You see here, Lesnick goes up big, plucks it down with aplomb, and then going the other way. What I like is that Barzazi knows he's got this, and he's kind of showboating by not showboating, like arms kind of by the side, like it's a casual park run before it lands perfectly in his lap. What a peach of a throw from Seba Rossi.
Yeah, the casual trader David Barzazi notably was cut from the Bologna roster in the open division at UCF.
Yeah, he hadn't been to enough trainings with injury throughout the course of the season, with training for Italy Mix and splitting his time.
Training for Margarita
elsewhere.
Mix, you mean, was it?
Yes, that as well, of course. This is the big one.
And they go deep yet again. Can this one curl and bounce? A magnificent effort, but just too far.
There is going to be a discussion just about whether Ayres did get a touch on it as he was laying out, and if he did so, was he out of bounds by the time that he did? He's down outside the field of play for me by the time he touches that.
Yeah. Good effort nonetheless.
Oh,
but
hell of an effort. Margarita could get this in. You'd be up 12-9, game to 13. It wouldn't be job done, of course, but he'd be feeling pretty good about it. Nice little wave for the camera.
Steve Jones blowing his kisses.
Ever the showman is Steve.
Going with the bleach blonde hair here at the moment.
Do you think that was for us?
I think he's trying to hide his gingerness as he fades one out to Maria Castillo. Next level stuff from Castillo Jones around to Costello. Looks like a pick is called. Allowed to catch up this time. Costello. Hutsova. Around now to Dunn. Who's made big impacts on this D-line. Castillo moves her mark. Wants to get with the end zone, but just shy of it now. Dunn. Good end zone defense here from Amherst. Trying to work it through the handlers right now. Getting high in the stall count again. She's looking for Dunn, who grinds her way to the front corner.
Sinead Dunn using that lower center of gravity to take the inside line and burrow underneath, and then just a little flip into the end zone as Margarita, they really jam it into the jam hole there. And a huge hug all round. Margarita then on the brink of the semi-finals, just utilizing that little more lightness of foot, the ability to get the sharper change of direction, to find the tiniest of creases that she can squeeze her way into.
They lost to Frisbee, they lost to Guayota, but all that doesn't matter now. They find themselves in the driver's seat.
And Frisbee and Guayota themselves, they're not bad teams. You know, Guayota have already wrapped up their quarterfinal, 13-6 over AKS Way, so they're already in the semis. They'll face Frisbee or Foy. Frisbee are up 11-9. Boracay with an 11-9 lead over SoCal on this half of the bracket. So at the moment, looking like a Margarita-Boracay semi-final.
That's going to be a fun one. I think whatever semi-finals we get are going to be exceptional in this mixed division.
A great slate of quarter-finalists for sure.
As Azzy puts one up into Portuguese airspace. Someone down to flight control. A chance to break for the win for Margarita Mix. Lopez drives it up the line, but Birdman swats that away with a big old wing.
Birdman?
That's what he used to be called in college anyway. I don't know if
really?
Yeah.
You know what? I did not know that. He deigned to reveal that on his player info survey, but we know.
Round now. Kyo. Barzazi. Looks like a foul downfield.
Yeah, Barzazi was questioning, did I not keep my foot in bounds? But it was instantly signaled from the sideline that he was good.
A chance to break for the win now. Barzazi throws the high release flick, and Rossi had time to catch it, but doesn't want this game to be over just yet.
Maybe he's already thinking about that celebratory mark.
Yeah, had one leg in the pub already, but this game not over yet. That a spicy biscuit and exceptional footwork to keep it in bounds. Living on the edge here. This Amherst side.
Yeah, Mascalunas there with his own toe drag swag.
Feels like they're walking a tightrope right now. So often trapped on that far sideline. Mascalunas.
For me, it was he's okay.
You get whatever you want.
Oh, that's it.
Turn her in.
It's okay.
Here we go, Martina. Here we go, Martina.
Good work there by the Margarita sideline, saying A, he was in, and B, David, if you're in his space, then even if you feel like he came into you, you have committed the infraction. It is your foul. So still comes back in on one.
He doesn't have an exceptional mark, Barzazi. Very, very active.
He's also a big man to try and throw around, but he really does threaten those various release points, as you mentioned.
Throwing themselves around like a big sack of spuds now, this Margarita mixed side. They want to end it on a break. But Amherst have other ideas. A collision downfield and a couple of players tangled in the end zone.
Yeah, I can see that it's Leshnik for Margarita Mixed. I can't see who the Amherst player on the floor is. But they look in a little bit of difficulty.
We hear a call for water from the sideline.
She's up and about, which is really good to see. She's going to decide to take an injury sub, but making her way off the field under her own power, which is a relief.
It's Mariana Lopez, another starting player coming onto the line as a sub. Graduate of the University of Dayton.
Did you go to the University of Dayton? Got him.
Turner. Swings it now to Lopez. Not much options downfield and an accepted foul. That's one way to reset your stall count.
Back in the days, we used to call that a veteran move, but I think that was just, that wasn't trying to buy the foul. That was, yeah, just unfortunate positioning for Leshnik.
Mariana Lopez puts one out into space. And flying into the skies, Roy Keogh.
It's Birdman again.
And he's going to launch it straight away. Wants to end this right now. Barzazi has eyes on the prize, and neither player reads it.
For Turner, I don't mind him going up early in that position because he's trying to goad Barzassi into doing the same. And then in doing so, Barzassi tries to get a better read on it, but it just edges a bit more than I think he expected.
Not sure what Barzazzi was doing there. Could have been an easy catch for the win, but there's still life in this Amherst side. Graham Turner hits a beautiful inside shot. They need a score to stay alive, and Turner gets it in the back of the end zone. After multiple turnovers, they find a way to stay alive.
Yeah, that was a grind of a point. The most turnovers we've seen in any point so far with the 4, but the CropTops will be mighty relieved that even though it took a lot of work, they were able to get it over the line and just extend this game. That was how Keogh got it back. It was edged into the wind and he rose highest and then instantly shot it deep. He had Barzassi with space and he thought, yep, this will be the one. But he has to take his eyes off it a little bit as it's behind him and he can't adjust his body. And this time, floating it up for Turner to keep Amherst alive and keep their semi-final hopes intact. The other side of the bracket is set now, by the way. Frisbee closed out a 12-9 win over Foy, so we will have a Frisbee Guayota semi-final later today.
Yeah, we'll be showing that one on the live stream for sure.
Who's doing that game?
Pretty sure I am. And you? Me and you, Bench?
I think it's us, yeah.
Dream team.
Let's go.
Let's go. Break or die situation for Amherst. Margarita will get their first offensive possession to win the game. Had a couple of opportunities in the last point to break for the win, but discussion about the gender ratio right now.
So it's an even numbered point, so it should be the same as it was the previous point. Because you're always changing when the score adds up to an odd number.
Here we go. Margarita mix can make their way to the semi-final with a hold here.
And they'll get some free field position as well, with the pool landing out of bounds, the pink Eurodisc just in front of the Eurodisc booth as well.
Rogers marching up to the brick mark. The general of this Margarita mix team takes the safe under option. And Hutsova now going every other pass here at the moment. Rogers getting high in the stall count, has to throw to the end zone. And Amherst have the opportunity to break. Ben Ayres keeping this game alive, going up against Rogers, using the full width of the field here inside their own end zone. Amherst getting high in the stall count. Pressure on every throw. Interesting to see that Ayres and Rogers matchup. Ferdia trying to go toe-to-toe with the bigger player.
And I think just getting a bit too handsy for Ayres' liking as it's banged deep.
Puts one up into the stars, and you felt like that matchup was going to be abused, and he wins it over the shorter man. Ayres beating Rogers in the air, captain against captain.
Yeah, the only way for Rogers to get that one would have been to establish the better position, but Ayres had the line, and so he kept his body. He shielded him out the entire way. So the only question for Rogers was to either do the extreme or trust that Ayres would make the error, and he did not.
Just too good. The big man, the shot all the way from downtown. I could smell it coming. You felt like Rogers maybe needed to force Ayres under and tried to battle for position, but Big Ben takes it down. This game isn't over yet, Benji.
Oh boy, is it not over. If you're Margarita, how do you play this? Do you put a power line out now, just try and kill it? Or do you say, just keep the O-line out there, trust they'll get it done, and maybe save things a little bit, maybe, if it does go to Universe?
I think keep rotating through the lines. I think they're all of good offensive players. They have a lot of top players from bottom to top of the roster, so just keep fresh legs out there. Rogers going to stay back out, though.
It's crazy to think that this team could have been even deeper if Emma Healy was fit and Sasha Płaciszkowski had been able to come.
Rossi has Legala going deep, and that one looks to be the game winner. Legala throws the disc up in celebration. Margarita Mix book their ticket to the semi-final.
Carmen Legala lets out a Jurassic roar as Margarita Mixed will go to the semi-final, where they will take on, pause for dramatic effect, Boracay Ultimate with a 12-10 victory over SoCal. And Margarita Mixed, well, they might well be peaking at the right time, Liam, because this is far and away the best I've seen them look this tournament. The offense was more rhythmic when they turned it over. They put on the pressure to get it back. Were they perfect? No, they definitely still have gears they can go into, but this is a very good side, and they took care of business.
The best connection for the Irish, I think, was that Rossi to Legala combination. So it'll be the battle of the islanders, the Irish against the men and women from Boracay, as we see the de facto Irish flag flying there. They're pretty close, but in alphabetical order and colors.
Just shift that camera left a bit, and I think you're there. There we go.
That's the Margarita Mix we know. Shout out to Kenya as well.
How good is it to see Kenyan teams here, by the way? It's such a shame that Blackfish couldn't come, but yeah, a real world event, which is exactly what you want from the inaugural World Beach Ultimate Club Championships. I did see Steph Rapazzo try and wrangle Seba Rossi into the interview booth, so I'll just get that set up for you now. And didn't Seb have a great game? Yes, he committed a few turnovers in there, but he managed to get a big block and 6 assists as well. That is a huge offensive performance from the Italian star.
Yeah, happy hour for Margarita Mix as we throw down to Steph Rapazzo and Seb Rossi for an in-game interview.
I'm here with Sebastian Rossi from Margarita Mixed after their victory in the quarterfinal. Seba, you guys are moving on. Talk about this team. It is an Irish team. It's got a lot of international flavor. What are the vibes like over there in Margarita Mixed?
The vibes are absolutely great. We felt a little bit some difficulties at the start to just play better, find the flow with all the people. But now in the late tournament, we are doing so great, and I think we showed it in the semi-final, in the quarter. Sorry.
In the quarter, you guys are moving to the semi. Yeah. You did say it. Your last game on stream, you guys was not your best game. This time, much better. Talk about what you guys were doing well against Amherst CropTop, a strong American team. What did you guys do that really worked?
We just cleaned a bit the field because it was a bit congested, especially with the team you were talking about, the Guayota. Especially with the wind, we struggled a bit, but now we find the right spaces in the field. We find the connections against with the players, so we are very happy. We hope to show the best we can have in the semifinal.
Your semifinal, I cannot confirm it was very close. Boracay and SoCal were tied up. Do you have an expectation who might win that one? Any idea? Who would you be betting you're going to face?
I think Boracay. Boracay, I think what?
Yeah,
think good?
It could. Either way, it was 11-11. So
Okay, good.
You're excited for it anyway?
Yeah, I'm excited for everyone. Just wanted to smash them all.
Any shout outs to anybody back home?
Yeah, thank you for supporting and watch the semifinal.
Right.
Be careful.
Congratulations, Seba Rossi and Margarita Mixed, moving on to the semifinals. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Steph, and congratulations to Seba Rossi and Margarita Mix. They'll have a quick trip to the bar, but they'll be back for semi-final action later. They'll be taking on Boracay, but I do believe we will be streaming Guayota versus Frisbee.
Yeah, it's a salivating slate of semi-finals. As you mentioned, Margarita, Boracay, Frisbee, Guayota, 4 juggernauts in their own right. And honestly, whichever one we picked, it would be an absolute feast for the eyes. This was a sensational game with crazy plays, lest you forget. But we had a greatest at one point from David Barzazzi, superbly finished off by Sinead Dunn. I mean, big plays from both sides. I mean, you could tell how much it meant to everyone out there on the field. In the end, Margarita just had that little bit of quality that they had lacked earlier in the tournament. Big steps for them. They're getting better as the week goes on, and that is ominous.
Margarita Mix turning up when it matters most, enjoying themselves here on the sands of Portimão. Amherst played a deep game, owned the skies at time, but came up a little short. As we wrap this one up, folks, fantastic performances from Lagala, Sinead Dunn, Lisnick, Stephen Jones, enjoying himself out there. But stay tuned to ULTI.TV, folks. We got a great open semi-final coming up. Humiliswag versus Sundogs for Liam Grant and Benji Rees. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.
Yeah, ultimate.
ULTI.TV.